But we know there has been a lot of trouble in Liverpool today. Things seem a little quieter now. Is that the case?
A little quieter, Jonathan, yes. I mean, you know, this is the sights that people come to Liverpool for, don't they? But what they've seen today is something, unbelievable, and something they will probably want to forget, because not long ago it was riot vans. We've got the police helicopter still circling above us here. They're now starting to clear up a bit and reopening some of the roads they closed earlier. But it's been such an afternoon of tension. It's been frightening. It's been unpredictable, starting at 2 o'clock when there was that static protest just outside the historic Liver building, and then counter-protesters came along, and before we knew it, they were shouting each other, chanting against each other, and then riot police formed this wall, this barrier in between them to try and just calm things down. And then this minority just shot off around the outside and then ran through the centre of the city here, and then we saw those violent clashes. We saw the police sort of with a tug of war. They went forwards and backwards between police and the protesters for about 2 hours it was, and it felt very unpredictable. It felt quite unsafe, and as you say, amongst those the tourists who come here, you know, every summer, people from abroad. We've seen families here, and they looked, you know, terrified to be caught up in this disorder. So starting with that rival protesters who were challenging each other, and then became this disorder where we saw bricks, we saw bottles, we saw chairs thrown at police. We saw one woman, she went off, a female police officer. She'd been badly hit by a chair, so she was led off by a colleague. We know that a number of police officers were hurt in this disorder. Now, Merseyside Police have tonight condemned that violence. They say a number of their officers have been injured. They said they won't put up with this sort of criminal behaviour. In the last few moments, reopened some of these roads. The traffic is now flowing freely again. Earlier it was gridlocked and people were terrified in their cars, wondering what on earth was going on. So that is calming down. Things getting back to normal, it's hard to say, isn't it? Because, you know, those protesters were angry. They left about half an hour or so ago, and the Prime Minister, as we heard earlier tonight, said the police have his full support to tackle extremists who are attempting to sow hate by intimidating communities. People here, tourists in particular, hopeful that disorder is over.